latest on travel hotspots. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, the storm update. Right now on the Weather Channel, your local forecast.
WeatherScope. Severe weather threatens a number of states in the central U.S. today, but many areas across the nation could see unsettled conditions. That story, plus in-depth forecasts and analysis on this edition of WeatherScope.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Rich Johnson, Jim Cantor. Rich is covering our severe today. A lot of stuff going on now, but I think the big show will be later on this afternoon. Very dangerous situation shaping up northeast Texas, Arkansas, and into Louisiana this afternoon.
That's right. So we will be heading to our update desk later today as the severe weather actually gets a little bit more widespread across the country. We do have some areas that we will look at shortly. First of all, some scenes out of Shreveport, Louisiana, and Caddo Parish yesterday. Some locally heavy downpours here.
Rain, go away.
The storm came in from Arkansas, made its way down into northern Louisiana, and it was not a nice day to be out on the tractor. What a wet day yesterday with the storms. Well, today we are looking at more thunderstorms, a couple different severe weather watches, one lined up in southern Indiana, central Kentucky, and middle Tennessee. So if you're watching this from Nashville, maybe Owensboro, back up to Louisville, possibly Cincinnati, later today you might see some severe weather conditions. The storms now have cleared D.C. and Baltimore, so I think you're okay, and probably one of the highest chances of seeing severe storms, the middle coast of New Jersey. And again, I'll show you that in a second. What's causing the severe weather? Well, the cold front's well to the west. Certainly a lot of warm tropical air around it. We do have some of these upper air disturbances aiding in the development of the thunderstorms. You can just start to see those on our satellite photograph. Actually, a couple different little lines back toward our front, but the one that we're watching is from Baltimore, D.C., all the way up toward New York City. Lightning data, that helps us out to tell us where the most active storms are. Those are in a couple clusters surrounding New York City, also central areas of New Jersey. So you're getting pounded by thunderstorms. Here's that line. First of all, we do have a little bit of thunderstorms starting to develop in central areas of New York. So if you're traveling up across the thruway, watch out for some storms as you're making your way through central New York State. But the most active storm conditions are from New York all the way down south of D.C. A few other thunderstorms very close to Boston, too. Let's not miss those. From near Long Branch southward, that is going to be where the storms are. In fact, they should be very close to Long Branch. If you're traveling the Parkway today, it is going to be a nasty mess over the next hour or two. So if you can hold your plans off for another couple of hours and let's let these big bad boys out of the way, finally make their way off the coast. Possibility of some large hail with these, also some very strong winds. Back to Philadelphia, improving weather conditions. Also at Wilmington, the line's breaking up down toward Dover, Baltimore, D.C. The weather now looking fine. Over to the Midwest, another line of showers and storms around a low pressure center across the Ozarks, and there are some active storms heading across southeastern Illinois, southern Indiana, also areas of central Kentucky. And again, our lightning data, cloud-to-ground lightning bolts, the white indicates the most recent lightning strike. So over to St. Louis, pretty decent now, but out toward Owensboro, back up toward areas of Louisville, you're seeing these storms move right on in. In fact, here comes that line of showers and storms moving across southern areas of Illinois. And you know what? I wanted to show you that radar of western areas of Tennessee, and the computer just didn't help me out. I think Jim's going to help me out here and get me a radar and show you what is going on just off to the west of Nashville, because there are some big storms also heading over to Nashville. Thank you very much, Jim. As we look at this line of storms heading very close to Evansville, again out to around Lexington, also a little bit of another line starting to form. And many times when you have crossing lines, that is a point of severe weather. So anywhere from just to the west of Nashville, one line here, also off to your north, and eventually out toward Lexington, Louisville, Owensboro. Watch out for this big line of showers and storms. Let's head back, look at the southeast. Again, thank you, Jim. As we check out the southern United States, we have some sunshine out there, enough to get things bubbling up some. Thunderstorms in Florida across central Florida, also some out to around the Big Bend over and just east of Tallahassee, maybe a couple of those out to around Lake City. As we check out the latest conditions in Florida, Osceola County, central Osceola, central Brevard County for traveling 95, US 1, it's going to be wet for a little while. Also, looks like just off to the southeast of West Palm, you're seeing some of these showers and storms continue to develop. Here's the bigger view showing the whole state with the thunderstorms, even a couple thunderstorms down across areas to the northwest of Miami. Thankfully, it's not raining today. With more about the West and your forecast, here's Jim.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at it again. Severe weather potential today, as we mentioned earlier, Rich and I, the big show this afternoon across the Arklatex region. You can see what's going on down here. Not much right now, but you can see signs of what is a mid-level cold pool dropping down into Oklahoma. The highest unstable air is down here. We think once that interaction takes place, things will go pop, and we do mean pop in a big hurry. We take you out west now on the visible satellite imagery. Look at this, big upper low spinning around. And notice what's happening off the California coast. This is kind of interesting. I saw this morning like, wait a minute, that wasn't what I looked at yesterday that was supposed to happen. So we'll look at it further with the water vapor imagery here coming up in just a second. You see once again around our cold, unstable air aloft, showers and storms are firing up. It's almost like clockwork. It's, 12:30 local time in the mountains, and they're getting hammered once again. And look at this. Nice big chunk of the jet digging off the California coast. So this is allowing our upper low to dig out and through here. So it's really finding a home. You can see why. It's just responding to this ridging that's occurring. See the ridge popping up here? It's protruding north into the Gulf of Alaska, so that in turn is allowing the jet energy to dive into the southwest. So this is going to keep this upper low off the coast for a while, and then we think it's going to eventually lift on out. Keep an eye out. Some pretty big storms developing now north of Lake Ontario, a little bit dropping over to the Adirondacks and across northern New England later on this afternoon. Other than that, Florida will light up, and we will watch what happens in Texas and Arkansas, which can be very explosive this afternoon. High pressure building across the Great Lakes on into New England, cool, dry air, and this front's only going to get so far. Looks like numerous shower and thunderstorms will fire up again tomorrow across the deep south. So you can see what type of moisture we're dealing with here. Plenty. Temperatures will be high today in the deep, deep south, 80s and 90s. But of course, this doesn't factor in the humidity, which is up 2 points near 80 degrees right now at Dallas, Rich. 30s and 40s tonight, and another hot day for the Big D tomorrow.
So certainly something for us to watch a little bit later today.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. Up next, we'll scope out a few more radars for you. That's on TravelWise. If you'd like to add anything.
Last year, Karen Kozo spent hours each weekend in her garden picking weeds. This year, thanks to Preen & Green, she's spending hours each weekend showing off her garden and picking roses. Do what you really want this year. Discover the joys of weed-free gardening. Use Preen & Green.
Hit $250 billion in sales like McDonald's, you're in the Business Hall of Fame. Hit $1 trillion in real estate transactions like the Century 21 system, you're in a class by yourself. You're the #1 real estate system. And when you're this big, you can do things others can't, like average a home bought or sold by our customers every minute, every day. No wonder in a nationwide survey, homeowners said they'd most likely use Century 21 by 4 to 1 over the nearest competitor. So call #1, Century 21.
Call 1-800-4HOUSES for a Century 21 office near you.
This is the future of workout. New Endurox, the natural workout supplement. Proven to build endurance, metabolize up to 43% more fat calories, even reduce muscle fatigue. Whatever your workout, make it count with new Endurox.
Traffic barely moving. We expect serious problems on the roadways.
A DC-9 plane skidded on traveling will be a big problem.
TravelWise, mornings at 10 and 40 past the hour, takes the surprise out of your travel on the Weather Channel. This is your local forecast.
This TravelWise is sponsored by Geico. One 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Center making its way across Missouri, and thunderstorms southern Missouri, or I should say southern Illinois, heading over towards southern areas of Indiana, western areas of Kentucky and Tennessee. A couple different squall lines. In other words, lines of thunderstorms are lined up with the possibility of severe weather. Across the east, thunderstorms from near New York City, south of D.C., also across central Florida. Lightning data tells us where the most active thunderstorms are by showing us where the most recent lightning strikes are. And the white, that is within about the past 5 or 10 minutes. So the white dots show us the leading edge of thunderstorms that we see building up. We expect over the next hour or two that it's going to go bonkers across areas of the Rockies, just like yesterday, with thunderstorms building. They explode once it gets to about this point of the day. Well, as we check